3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a once again reunited episode of the Sober Swole podcast. My name is Jake Howard.
I like how you saved the singing. You didn't tell me that was coming. And I go by DJ Swirl.
Chocolate and vanilla swirl.
Gotta keep you on your toes,
Well done.
And then before we get started, let me give a shout out to Royalty Nutrition. That's royaltynutrition.com. They are a veteran-owned and operated supplement company that doesn't automatically go to use the cheapest ingredient as possible while making their supplements for you. Check them out and use the discount code 37HAKE to save you 15% on your entire order. My next shout out will be to Gorilla Gains. That's Gorilla-Gains with a Z. .com. They are a fitness apparel company that you can wear comfortably in and out of the gym. They also make great equipment that helps keep you safe while you train. That discount code is Jake15 to also save you 15% on that order. My last shout out of the evening will be to me. That's right, patreon.com/Hake Joward. That's where I do my solo podcast called Hake Rants. I do blog entries. I do training logs. I put up old training programs for athletes. Check it out. It's a good resource. If you're not looking to hire a coach full time, there's coaching there available for you for a way cheaper price. DJ Swirl, tell them about that buy to buy empire.
They say teamwork makes the dream work, but what about the nightmare? From your landlord to your dashboard, sometimes life don't play fair. If you lack time, got a bad spine, we're here to support you. Giving peace of mind from the time you buy until we say goodbye. 602-345-0472 buy to buy. 602-345-0472 buy to buy.
That's right, buy to buy. Fast, friendly, on demand, moving, delivery, staging, TV mounting, and assembly. No time, towing, or muscle. Hit us up at BUYTOBYE everywhere you are. This is a product of Buy to Buy Studios. High quality, low stress, always remote controlled. All of your live stream posts, stories, shares, reels, whatever that means. If you want to take your brand to the next level, if you don't have the budget to do it, hit us up. We'll work with you and make it happen. Buy to Buy Studios everywhere you are. Jake, what are we talking about tonight?
No. You've been gone for like 2 months. Where?
Oh shit, my bad.
What are, I believe. Let's talk about your country hopping adventures that you've been on, man.
Oh man. Well, I mentioned my trip to St. Louis on here the last time we recorded, which has been some time ago. Yay? Nay?
Yeah, I think
So.
I think so.
Yeah, made the trek to St. Louis month or two ago now. For a client, 2 10-plus hour days, and then drove to Indianapolis 4.5 hours later, hung out with the homie, flew back. That was like a warm up for what just happened, which was our trek out to Mississippi for my wife's parents. They've been out here since the birth of my oldest daughter, and it's time to settle into their forever spot. So they stayed with us for about a week and a half or so, and we've been in the spot for less than 2 months now. We still got boxes. Like, my office is not put together like I want it to be, but like it's just been go 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 go. And so this last time, 20-foot truck with all their belongings. Went with a couple of my cousins and aunt that I'd only seen once before, which was at my wedding 15 years ago. So, needless to say, not a lot of communication up until that point. But my father-in-law, I rode with him day one. I'm sorry, I drove with him the first day, and about what you would expect, being locked in a cab with someone else's dad.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a divide there, but Larry's got a great attitude, and like many people in his generation, they spend a lot of time reflecting on past times, and so spent quite a bit of time in the trip between his intermittent naps and bathroom breaks, talking about his time when he was a more active young man. And then so our first day we drove over 8 hours. I think we were about 7 hours 45 minutes in. We had like 30 minutes to get to the hotel we were staying at the first night, and there's an emergency bathroom break. So we say, okay, we got to pull over for gas. The next exit anyway. Go ahead, catch up to us. And then we get 3 calls and a text message that say the car won't start. So, um, my father-in-law is very unhappy because he just dropped a couple of grand tuning the vehicle up for this cross-country trip. The battery was not one of those things that got addressed.
Mhm.
So, car ran great until the point the battery decided, no thanks. And so my mother-in-law wound up telling me later that she said she felt the AC get a little less cool right before it happened. And so
Mhm.
I don't know how old the battery was. I didn't see the year on it, but um, you know, 8 hours of
You threw,
driving with 100-degree weather most of the time, like,
and you threw the battery in the nearest body of water you found, of course, as one should.
well, we traded it in because we went to O'Reilly's or an AutoZone. There was an O'Reilly's and an AutoZone in the same building,
Oh yeah.
like a Taco Bell Pizza Hut joint. Never seen that before. And so that was interesting. So they were like price shopping between the two. And they got it cheaper at one part and they did it with the install. Anyway, got it taken care of, started right up, and didn't have a problem with it after that. Got to the hotel, hot tub, pool advertised. I'll show the picture if I end up making a clip of this. The hot tub was empty and had like bars and like tubing and stuff in it. And I'm just like, I think I literally yelled out loud. I was so disappointed. All I wanted to do was soak for like a good 30 minutes. Didn't
No.
happen. And so, and it was like very windy, very windy. The first day, like 20, 30 mile an hour steady winds. And you're looking at the semi truck trailers, the cab, and then the what they're hauling is like at an angle trailing behind them most of the way. It was tough. It was tough driving. And so slept a few hours and got up and did it all over again. This time I rode with um, my wife and our girls, and it was a great experience. I had a really good second day, having fun with the girls and making games along the way and just spending time. They were incredibly well behaved. Um, the way that my parents used to brag about us on long trips, I think that we passed that on to them because
Passed
they
on.
didn't, they really did not complain most of the time, aside from when they needed to use the bathroom or they were snacky or whatever. But yeah, it was really good. And then day 3, I rode with my cousin Kyle, and Kyle is in private security. He's done taking the classes, done the courses or whatever, and he's just waiting to become a police officer for real. And but he's been doing it for quite some time. And
Does cousin Kyle know to secure rooftops?
cousin Kyle, we had again, don't know Kyle very well, but we had a lot of time to speak. We were in good conversation nearly the entire time. And that led into his experience with, police and getting in trouble on his own accord multiple times. I got to share with him my Cavalier story, and which later came up in an episode of TV that we were watching, and I got to look at him, and he got to laugh at an inside joke with someone that I just met, which is rare. So it's like it was pretty cool to see that happen. Um, but yeah, all that went down. We got to the house, and we're settling in, and then cat on the rooftop, bing bang boing, and the mood of the night shifted, to say the least. Yeah, but no, wait, maybe that was on Friday. Yeah, that was on Friday. Saturday, we emptied the truck. I took the girls out on an ATV up in there. They have like 19 acres, and so we were just up in the
Nice.
hills, just running around through this little path they've made through the trees back there. It was a lot of fun, and kids were gaslighting me to go faster than their Uncle Keith. So had that unfriendly competition
Of course.
for no reason because the kids were gassing us up. But I think I hit 25 miles an hour on the ATV, and they were like cheering. So dad points. But yeah, and then pew pew, and energy shifted. Oh, I did get introduced to this, I guess, a poker game called In Between. You familiar with this?
I'm not.
So it's just like it says it is. You played high low,
Yeah.
where you get a card and you're like higher or lower. So this is just that plus another card. So say you get a 6 and then you get a 10. The goal is to get a card in between a 6 and a 10. Not many cards. So you typically bet outside of that. If anything between a 6 and a 10 comes up and you didn't bet it, you have to add your bet, whatever you bet, to the pot. So the pot can grow and it can get really big. And they were telling me all these stories about how pots got into the hundreds of dollars before. Um, I think the most the pot got was like $10, but I walked away with at least $10 myself, mostly in
There
quarters.
you go.
So that was
Mhm.
great. Gave TSA a nice giggle as I was going through the metal detectors. But yeah, man. I think Kyle is aware of you know the I don't know even know what if it's the process or just de-escalation is what we had a conversation about. And I'm not sure what the protocol, that's the word I couldn't get. Protocol is for de-escalation, but I assume that if there is a presidential, especially a former presidential nominee speaking nearby, probably don't let them to continue their way.
Rule number one is secure the rooftops. That's rule number one. Any place where a sniper could be, you look at, or you put someone there.
So this is so
So
this is a twofold problem, right? Because you've got one,
yeah,
you've got bad good guys, and then you have shitty bad guys.
yeah,
So you got the people who could have prevented the incident from happening altogether, and then you have
fail real
then you
hard.
have an inadequate shooter. So
Yeah,
it's like two wrongs don't make it right, right?
it was just a bad day for everybody. Not. It was.
I don't know, man. It was a pretty good day for Trump.
Oh yeah,
It was such a good day that the next day he went golfing, nothing on his ear, and then tonight he's at the convention with a super band-aid on.
of
With
course, of
with
course.
a Nelly with Nelly's version of an ear band-aid on. So it's like uh the WWE theater continues.
Did he come out to many men?
Oof, I didn't watch. I haven't been paying attention to most of this stuff,
Uh,
but I would assume that 50 came out, walked out with him.
well, I don't know. The only I didn't watch it. The only thing I saw was like there was outrage because Amber Rose, Kanye's ex, was there giving a pro-Trump speech, and then you had all the people being like, "I knew you weren't for us," and then all the like hardcore conservatives are like, "Why is this whore here?" It was just good times all around.
Yeah, yeah.
Good Christian values and
All of the talking points.
all of the good stuff. Oh, before I get into my security company pitch, I should probably talk about the Utah trip.
Yes.
Yes. So the wife wanted to go to Utah to go. We don't have any family there, or really. I mean, like we know my buddy Christopher, who my son's named after. His family's still out there, but so we went, and the first thing we did was we went to after I took a nap was we went to the Lagoon theme park that's out there. That's worth the trip, dude. if you're looking for a theme park that's not too expensive, it's clean and the rides are awesome. That's
What's
the
it called?
move. It's called Lagoon,
And it's in where
and
in Utah?
it's oh crap. We were staying in Ogden, and it was like 15 minutes away.
Okay.
So it's like Salt Lake area suburb.
Farmington
Yes, that
Lagoon
sounds
Amusement
close.
Park.
So I will tell you at the end of the Lagoon Tale the big negative about it, but for the most part, everything about that place was rad. The rides were awesome. Like they had like the fair games. You toss the cup or try to knock something down,
Yeah.
and it's set up for kids to win.
Okay.
So like if you're, Mila and Wyatt both went and with the mallet smacked the thing and hit the bell. So that was pretty cool. That was fun. But Mila and that's my ride buddy.
Hmm.
We rode every big roller coaster there at the park
Nice.
because she thought it was the greatest thing ever. I snuck Ruth onto one that she wasn't tall enough for, and Ruthie had a blast at the park. She thought that was going on the roller coasters was the greatest thing ever. We just had a lot of fun. I have my cannibal shirt. I survived the cannibal, or I conquered the cannibal, or whatever it was. The big ride, and so you get on this thing, you get in the track, and then it raises you up on this platform. That's kind of like tilty. Gets your anxiety building as you go. Then you get to the top, and everything locks in, and then it's immediately this just huge drop. That ride was awesome. Mila and I went and rode it back-to-back times because it was fun. No one else wanted to get on it; they were too scared. But yeah, we did all the big rides. Marley did this boat ride because it was close to the ground. We made her do this fire truck ride, and she was pissed because the fire truck raises above the ground, and then like the building behind you starts smoking, and she was pissed off that she was off the ground. I didn't think she'd forgive us, actually. Then the girls and I went and got on the train that kind of takes you around the original lagoon where everything was made. Here's the bad part. I didn't say anything to the girls because they were like, "Oh wow, look at that!" But they have animal enclosures at this park. So
What kind
imagine
of
a zoo,
animals?
but oh my god, dude. Okay, so there was camels that didn't have enough stored fat to keep their humps up. There was a lion, I'm pretty sure, was taking more than a nap.
No,
They had,
stop.
oh my god, it was bad. It was really bad. There was, warthogs and other African deer. There was a shitload of kangaroos. That's because there's baby joeys with them, but it was bad. Those enclosures were not big enough for a person to stay in. For the most part, it looked like it was not good. The girls got excited because they got to see all the animals they've never seen before. And it was this dad and then me sitting next to each other going,
Yeah.
But other than that obvious animal rights violation, solid theme park. Day 2, Brittany wanted to go to Idaho to go see Shoshone Falls, which is a dam out there. It's really pretty. I'll put the pictures up eventually when I remember. But we also wanted to go to this. There was 2 caves that we could have gone to, and one We didn't have the proper winter attire in because it was an ice cave. And the other was called Mammoth Cave. And if you follow the Sober Swole podcast social media, I put a rundown version of this already up. But this is the Nazi cave story.
Boy.
So we go in. There's this big fella behind the desk. Pay your money, give it. It costs whatever it was. And then adults carried the lanterns. And the cave was pretty cool. It also doubles as a fallout shelter. It was a quarter mile in, quarter mile out, and then it was go to the museums. There's two separate museums. One was in the main building. Oh, I forgot. They also had peacocks out front. Like they raised peacocks. Cool. The first museum was it was really interesting because it was circles. And you just went in the circles and you saw just different taxidermy things and fossils and two-headed chickens and two-headed rabbits. And there was a Siamese twin calf too. Like oddity stuff, like things that I enjoy looking at.
Right.
And this is all, and check out these arrowheads from around the United States. Here's some spears from Africa. It had a bunch of interesting things in it. And then the guy goes, "Okay, the next cave is you head out the door. Not the next cave, but the next museum is you head out the door. You're going to the cave, but you hang a right. And this is this other building out there. So, okay, cool. You walk in, the first thing you see is this meeting room table, and off in the corner I see a big swastika flag, and I go, that's the last thing I'll look at, right? So we walk around, and there's more taxidermied stuff, and here's the history of this and that and where it came from, and then we get in the back, and there's a big painting of a white Jesus preaching to all the brown Native Americans. And underneath it is a placard that said, "This happened, read here." And it was the Book of Mormon opened up to wherever the story of Jesus supposedly came to the United States at one point. And I'll give you a little rundown on that, okay? So I know a little bit about the Book of Mormon because I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, and I was raised to hate Mormons, so I needed to know the doctrine so I could make fun of it, right?
Right.
So the story is when Jesus came back and ascended to heaven, he didn't ascend to heaven right away. He went to North America and preached to the native peoples. And the native peoples that believed him turned white because they were cleansed of their sins that were making them dark. Okay. For a long time, the Mormon Church didn't let black people in because they were black because of their sins. Okay. So I tell the kids, enough of that nonsense. Let's take this left. And it was the person who explored the cave the first time and the family that owns the land where the cave is. It's their family. This is so-and-so's great grandpa with all his brothers, blah, 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 blah. It was the family line, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's interesting, fine. And then you get to the display. And it's a big Nazi flag. It's a Nazi armband. There's a Japanese rising sun flag. There's and then there's an armband that they made the Jewish people wear before they got put in the ghetto, before they got put in the camp, right? So did you know about that, the Jewish armband?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, that was when the Nazis were in control. If you were a Jewish person, you had to wear an armband if you were out in public to let people know that you were a Jew.
Right.
Okay. So I'm looking at this display just like in awe. Also, oh, in the corner of the same display, I didn't send you this picture. I think, but there's a picture of a character of a little caricature of a little black boy in a fishing pole. I'll send that to you later. But in the middle of this display was the guy who explored the cave the first time. It was his ration card from World War II. It was, that was, you had to get your card checked every time you went and got a meal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, in my head, because I have Iraqi things, right? I go, oh, this is all just stuff that he brought back from Europe. I can justify this wall of hate if this is something that he brought back from Europe. Like, in a way. Okay. So the guy at the front desk said, he made it very abundantly clear, if you have any questions, I have the answers. So I walk in and I said, so all the Nazi stuff, that's all stuff that the first explorer dude, that's what he brought back from Europe, right? Like, tell me I'm right, please. And he goes, no. Well, I'll tell you the truth, I don't know. I know we get a lot of stuff from collectors, and sometimes folks donate stuff or whatever. And I was just fucking lie, dude. Just lie. Just tell me, just lie. Just say yes. So, at that point, I looked at, my Mexican wife, and I said, we gotta go. Yeah, we're gonna skedaddle on out of here. I know I look like I fit in, and all of our blonde haired, blue eyed children, they're fine, but we gotta go.
So what do your kids say when they're in that space?
So the littles didn't know what was going on. I don't think Mila paid too much attention, and I don't think Wyatt really understands either.
Yeah.
Scarlett was like, yikes, whoa. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just always interesting because my daughters are starting to ask questions. Like
Yeah.
my oldest especially, she's just like, and she hears what all the other kids are saying at school as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of division in the parental structures of our elementary school. So it's always interesting whenever they have a play or something like that. You'll get, people will show up with an AR-15 on their shirt to a kindergartner's recital. Like,
Well, you gotta let them know.
so when they have an active shooter scare or, something like that, it's not a surprise which household that comes from because, the kid feels the type of way about a situation that they couldn't express to their parents, and their parents can't, they can't be bothered to rationalize their train of thought as, young kids. And then the kid winds up taking the gun to school as a show of force, and it turns into a bigger problem. So that's not an isolated issue. That's something that happens at many schools. And pretty sure that there was a mass shooting, another one, because that's what the assassination attempt is. 4 people got hurt. That's the definition of a mass shooting. So not only did that happen, but across the state, another mass shooting happened the same day as the assassination. So it's just like, welcome to America. So you guys there was a Nazi display in Idaho?
Yes. Now, come to learn, that's actually a big spot for white supremacists. And
I couldn't tell you a black person that I know that has been to Idaho, let alone is from there. So
I also learned that that's where the United States KKK headquarters is.
Keeps coming.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, the mathed out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well,
But we stopped at a restaurant called Jaker's on the way out, though, and I want to open one.
the Jakers. Is that apostrophe?
Yep. Nope.
Plural Jaker.
Jaker's. Yep. And I don't know who the original Jaker that opened this restaurant was, but he did it the exact way I'd do it.
So it's not
Everything.
a misspelled Joker?
Nope. The decor is exactly how I'd set it up. Not plain, not too nice, not too. And then the rolls that come out first. Do you know what a beignet is?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like that, but it's not light and fluffy. It's like a legit roll. But they fry it like a beignet.
Like a beignet that you get in Louisiana?
Yes.
And
But it's
okay, no, just like you said.
but it's not light and fluffy. It's like an actual roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then they bring you honey butter. Yeah, boy.
How many
And then
did
the
you
food
eat?
is like 6.
So you've been to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh yeah.
Start a controversy.
Oh no, the honey butter rolls at Jaker's knock the dog shit out of Texas Roadhouse, and they're
Blasphemy, cuz.
hey, no, listen, I'm like
Haven't been to
Texas
Jaker's.
Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Listen. I love me a Texas Roadhouse. I like going. Because I know exactly what's there. I know the quality's there. I'm about it.
You're not biased because of the name. Be real.
No, the roll game is outstanding.
Okay.
Like, but if I was going to go to a chain to get I'm going to get a good steak, I'm going to Texas Roadhouse. The rolls at Jaker's.
You get past the white supremacy.
Yeah, like,
The rolls
you know
at
what?
Jakers.
Maybe you folks are onto something. Nom, 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 nom.
Man, that's hilarious. Oh no.
No, so that was the other thing. So this is another Quentin shout out. But I put that picture with the hand slap the face emoji blocking the swastika.
Yeah.
And my boy Quentin goes, "Let me guess, it's something racist." And I said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "I fucking knew it."
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Yeah, man. When have you ever seen that and then there's been like positivity behind it?
What I didn't get is there's a bunch of people our age. I put that picture up. They're like, "What is that? What's that flag?" I was like,
No, dude,
do you know
fuck
what?
that.
Like, you know exactly what that fucking flag is. Come on.
I can't talk to people who have the access to this amount of information and pretend like they don't know what's going on. Like
Yeah.
I'm done. Checked out.
Yep.
Update your
You know
Flintstone firmware. Straight up. Like
You know exactly what that flag is, dude. Come on. But
the ignorance and then the arrogance behind it. They don't know what it means, but they know that but because they're dumb or because they're undereducated, they can't take offense to it, or you shouldn't take offense to it because they're undereducated.
yeah. Well, so yeah, that was Nazi cave and delicious rolls.
I gotta look this place up. Jakers.
Jakers, bro. Jakers.
So I looked up the Lagoon spot. 91% rating.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty solid.
It was clean.
And so Jakers
Mm-hmm.
Bar and Grill.
Yeah, I suppose.
Idaho Falls.
Yep.
Jakers Bar and Grill. 4 stars. But their rolls are not pictured. I'll take your word for it, man.
No,
Nobody's mentioning the rolls, though.
Well, It's because they want to keep it a secret.
Ah.
Those rolls were the best. But day 3,
Oh, and their
we went
website's not even
to
secure. Boo.
day 3. We went to. I have the hat. We went to Ogden's George S. Eccles Dinosaur Park. That was pretty rad. They had a walk around where they had they had like dinosaur statues on display, and you read like where they were from, what they did, and what their family was. And that was really cool and interesting. There was a guy that was walking around with a satchel full of teeth, of dinosaur teeth, fossils, and told us all about that. Kids were all excited about that. And then we went inside, and that's where all the fossils were. That was rad. That was a real fun day. We celebrated Wyatt and Ruth's birthday because the week before Wyatt had turned, it was his birthday, and then Ruthie turned 5.
Yes.
Just wild, wild times. Who'd have thunk?
I've gotten one. So far, only one person has mentioned and taken a picture of the.
And is it blasphemy or are they telling the truth?
I just feel like if I go to Texas Roadhouse, anything that the first thing people are going to start talking about is the rolls,
Right.
which I do. Like I would go. I have made a separate trip. They look pretty good. They look delicious. I've made a separate trip. Made a protein or had an entree, and then had a veggie but didn't have bread or wanted a side, and I was like, Roadhouse rolls. And I remember the first couple times we took Rylan with us, she was kind of like we had to convince her that it was good. She wasn't sold on it. Now every time we go, we have to tell her to stop eating the bread. So it's like I would, you should have brought some back for taste test comparison. Because now I need to have
Yeah.
Jakers rolls.
Yeah.
Because
Well, hey man, you want to roll up? You want to roll to Idaho Falls? I got you.
hit up Keith Lee. Tell
I'll,
him next time he goes out to Idaho, watch his back and try
I'll be
Jakers.
your, I'll be your, I'll be your escort.
Hey, if I got a reason to be out there, we'll make a pit stop. But it said 888 miles. That's a bit far. You guys drove?
No, we flew.
Okay.
Well, so we flew. So we flew in to Salt Lake City and rented a van, and we drove to Idaho. So it was like a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
What was real cool is if you get in the back farms, some of those farm roads don't have speed limits. I mean, if we're talking about Hitler's legacy, baby, fucking Autobahn, dog. Whap.
No, talking about your legacy of getting pulled over in BFE.
Well, there's no speed limit, so I wasn't breaking any laws.
No posted speed limit.
No, there was no speed limit.
So they just don't exist in that part.
Nope.
So how fast did you go?
Oh, I was only going like 80.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to take it too far.
Yeah. I mean, you have your whole family in the car with you.
And in a car that's not mine. And, you know.
Liability through the roof. Yeah.
Yeah,
No big
that
deal.
was it was still fun. But yeah, that was the trip. Flying back kind of stunk. Ruth was pissed because she wasn't sitting next to me
Ooh.
and not in the window.
Ooh, double whammy.
Christopher was pissed because he was sitting next to me and not next to Mom. Oh, no. I forgot to say. We stopped by our last night. We went and had dinner at my buddy Chris's sister and her husband, whose also his name is Chris, at their house. And they're so wonderful. I love them. Like they had just gotten back from Niagara Falls. They're like come by, we'll have food ready. Like, you guys just got back. You can tell us no. And she was like, no, absolutely
Right.
not. Like, when are we going to see you again? Kind of thing. And it was so sweet.
Nice.
And the kids all had fun playing and running around in their giant house. And that was absolutely lovely. And I was so glad to get to see them. So I didn't get to see Mama Erdley this time around. Schedule didn't pan out, but at least I got to see Michelle. So that worked. Anywho, then it was snap back to reality. Back here in the real world. Oh, speaking of snap back to reality, have you listened to Eminem's new album? I have not.
Nor have I. And I had one of my buddy from Indiana, who I'm going to the Bears game with in September. He texted me and was like, "Have you listened to M's album?" And he said that it reminds him of his old stuff. And then I think something came across my timeline in regards to Candace Owen, something like that, and I just kind of kept it moving because who cares?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I've not listened to it yet. It will get the justice it likely deserves, but um, I just keep seeing stuff about the numbers and what streams are and all that. But like, it's interesting because with the timing of the mass shooting with Trump, it's like Eminem himself is a division line among Trump's base because there are people who like Eminem who still support Trump, and Trump or Eminem has gone out of his way to show that he's not he doesn't he doesn't run with the Trump clan. So
Yeah.
it will be interesting to know how much of those streams and how much of those numbers where that line lies because people have shown a propensity to be active in the social sphere, whether that's virtue signaling or they're actually on board with the movement or something, and then it's like supporting LGBT community but still eating at Chick-fil-A. I'm guilty of that. I still have Chick-fil-A with my family.
Yeah.
Still support the LGBTQ community. Like there's no knowing the hypocrisy in that statement itself, but understanding that it's food and drawing the line in certain places where that's less an issue. Like whatever that cake place is in Indiana that didn't want to made that huge deal about not making a cake for gay people. Never going there. No reason to.
No.
Still fuck with Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, the shit's delicious. Coming back
Oh,
from doing the scooter gig the other day, I stopped by KFC for the first time in a while.
oh, okay.
I don't think I'm going to eat KFC ever again. I think I'm officially an old man
What does your age have to do with it?
because like my body's like I'm not processing this.
Oh, okay. That's a different
and
story.
like and like it was like so not only did I get the you ate too much fat runs, but for like the next 2 days I'd sit down for my morning constitution and my body would like leak. Yeah, that's gross. But that's what happened. And the only thing I can play it to is KFC. So never again.
So what's the order at KFC? Let's get into specifics.
Oh, I
Just a
wasn't doing
bucket
anything.
doesn't matter.
Nah, man, I didn't. I went and I got the 5 strips and coleslaw and a biscuit, man, and Dr Pepper.
Not special. Well, the Dr. Pepper doesn't help, but
Yeah.
maybe it
But
does depending on your goal. But um, yeah, I had we had KFC recently as well, and their biscuits, as dry as they are, I still like them.
oh no, the biscuits are great.
Add a little honey on that thing.
Yep.
I'm all right needing a drink. But yeah, it's just like I was left unimpressed, and but not from a sake of not being able to eat it. Like I'm pretty sure they're owned by the same brand. I think Pepsi owns both of them, but Taco
Yeah,
Bell,
it's KFC, Taco Bell, Long John Silver's, and
Pizza Hut.
I think they own A&W now too. I
Yeah.
think.
So that's all on the truck when you see it driving by, right? And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, so with my body, it's Taco Bell. So the family and my wife loves Taco Bell. Loves Taco Bell. She's passed that on to my daughters. They eat it up and they order and they ask me if I want anything, and I say no
Mhm.
because it disrupts my morning constitution as well.
Well, speaking of KFC, you're a well-traveled man from the Midwest, such as myself. Do you remember when KFC? I mean, not KFC, but when Hardee's, which is Carl's Jr.
Hmm.
Do you remember when they had fried chicken?
Yeah.
I remember Hardee's fried chicken kicked the shit out of KFC chicken. If in my youth,
Yeah.
if I remember, like Hardee's fried chicken was the shit, and they had you get a cup of blueberry cobbler.
That's way back.
Uh-huh.
Way back. I'm not sure how far that was, but it's a way back.
Mini moons.
I don't even know where I go to get like fried chicken just straight up, like in a bucket or I mean probably Safeway or probably the grocery store.
I
Like
I literally have all the ingredients at home now.
the chirping in the background.
Yep. Oh, my turkey.
Oh, it's your turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 hens in there, but those once they get big enough, they're not staying here at the Howard House. Those are going out to Florence.
Yeah.
There was some weird. I don't know what happened this year out there, but they all did great last summer, which was a hotter summer.
Hmm.
They all did great. No one. We didn't have any chickens die. I killed a few roosters brutally, but but like all the chickens out there were fine. And this year they got mites, and then I got rid of all the mites and stuff. There's something about this year that there's been 3 hens that just like laid down and were like, I'm out.
Done.
Yeah.
Huh.
And what was nuts is they went and found the shady spot and laid down to die in the shady spot. I was like, should have been there the whole time, dummy. But no, the only weirdness we've had here was I'm pretty sure the male duck killed the new male duck that I didn't know was a male duck yet. The one hen that drowned itself and died slow. And then
Chickens can't swim?
no.
Oh.
And then there was another one. One of our black stars just quit drinking water and gave up.
If I lived
Yeah.
outside in this Arizona heat, then I'm probably calling it too.
Well, what's nuts is I built a outdoor redneck swamp cooler,
Yeah.
which so if you just sit at the if you just look at the uh, if you stand in front of just a fan on a really hot summer day in Arizona outside, that's the worst thing in the world because it's 1,000,000,000 degrees.
Right.
But what I did is I have my little kiddie pool that I converted into a duck pond, and I have a fan that blows water directly onto the water that causes a draft off the lake. So basically, I made a outdoor swamp cooler. So the inside of that run is probably 5 to 10 degrees cooler than it is outside of the run in the yard. So that one black chicken had no reason to die; it just did fucking pussy. Weak dinosaur.
So you said that the chickens or the hens, they won't be there much. They won't be there much longer,
The ones here in this brooding box, yeah.
and that's because
I'm moving them out to Florence after the big operation.
so they don't. Do you not have a spot at your house anymore? It's only in
Oh
Florence.
no, I do. It's just so I don't want to have. I'm replacing the birds that kicked it this summer, and then with the turkey and the birds we have, I don't want to overcrowd my coop and run here at the house.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I won't be doing that. We went to how I got the turkey was they were selling them at Cahoots. You ever heard of Cahoots?
No, sir.
It's basically a another feed store,
Okay.
and their whole purpose in life is like farm animal feed, and then I guess they sell birds too. And I was put on game by a
Literally.
fellow I work with named Reed. He's like, hey man, stop by Cahoots. They got turkeys, and I was like, I'm gonna get a goddamn turkey. It was like $16 for a chick, right? And in my head, I'm like, that's perfect because I can get this thing big. I can raise it. I can grow it. I can get it huge, and I can have like a $30 turkey that, right? I've got a big family. This makes so. I did a great fiscally responsible dad Thanksgiving move. Jake rules, all right. But no, I bring this turkey home, and immediately the girls, oh my gosh, shit. And like Mila's holding it, and it falls asleep in her arms. She's like, oh, can't. And then Brittany's like, I can't eat a turkey. I can't eat that turkey. I was like, so you can eat another turkey that some other asshole raised and killed? Like, come on, let me be your asshole.
Under what other context is that a positive?
That is the positive. I think that's the one.
I need somebody. I need someone else to say that when I have Taco Bell, because
let me be your asshole. That's what we'll do, man. We'll go to a KFC Taco Bell mashup. I'll get the Taco Bell. You get the KFC. And we can shake hands and nod.
we can be each other's assholes. Well, you know who went out of their way to make themselves a giant asshole? That's 32-year-old Ingrid Andress.
Yes.
During the MLB All-Star Game festivities, she decided to get drunk before it was her job to sing our nation's anthem, and it sounded appropriate.
It sounded like a drunk girl singing the national anthem.
Have you not heard it still?
I still haven't heard it, no.
So it's on my story. It's one of my stories on there. It's 2 minutes long, so you have to click on it to hear the whole thing. If I did this at a karaoke bar, I'm never showing my face in this place again. And karaoke is supposed to be bad, right? There is when you sign up for a night of karaoke, you're assuming you're not going to hear the best vocals all night. At a sporting event of this magnitude in Texas, you would figure that the national anthem would go off without much of a hitch.
What's her name?
Ingrid, Ingrid, Andress,
Mm-hmm.
Andress. I might be pronouncing that part wrong. But she's 32-year-old young woman and got
Can you see
not bad.
the dawn's early light?
Passable.
What so proudly we hailed
Ouch.
by the twilight's last gleaming,
Double.
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming.
Take us home.
And the rockets spread glare, the
Holy shit.
bombs bursting air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Who saved us that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free. Oh, say can
Yeah, dog. Never showing my face in that karaoke bar. She did that. She did that at a baseball stadium in Texas. Home run derby, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, probably the home run derby.
But Tupac, all eyes on her. And if you watch the video, there's a couple of players that are like prominently positioned on like stars or whatever around the field, and you can see them, and they're trying to keep it together. And if you go back a few years and you watch the NBA All-Star national anthem that Fergie sang, Fergie is sleeping very well from this point moving forward because
What's it?
she has earned and owned that distinction as like the worst national anthem of recent times, especially from a singer.
Uh-huh.
And bro, Ingrid Andress, she checked herself into rehab after that performance.
Yep. Was it? Not to discredit Fergie's terrible performance, but I think didn't she say she was trying to take it? She was trying to jazz it, sing like a jazz singer it or some shit.
So Fergie,
It,
when keeping it real goes wrong, she
yeah,
thought it was a great idea to try and put her own stamp on an already tough song to sing
yeah,
with no one's permission and no one's approval. She just did it. So it caught a
yeah.
lot of people off guard. And not only that, but it was just
Not good.
she made unusual choices in the song. So
Yeah,
you couldn't even get on board with it because you're like, "Wait, why'd you go why'd you go there with it?" But
right.
nah, man. Ingrid just got lit and then went and tried to
Yeah,
perform. And so now she's like, I'm gonna take a step back, and which is, a healthy decision, but
yeah.
when it's framed in this manner, it feels like a cop out. So you
Well,
as someone who has been sober for quite some time, what's your take?
see. I can't.
I mentioned what one of her songs was, right?
Which was it? I can't.
The first song that shows up when it says songs is Wishful Drinking.
So that's a country
Feel
song title for sure. Yeah,
feel like this. Waste of Lime. So it seems like her catalog is littered with references to alcohol.
right.
Life of the Party. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, in terms
So,
of go ahead.
so I will say from my perspective, if she truly needs help, I'm glad she's getting it. But if this is just a cover my ass PR rehab stay, it's not going to do her any good, and she'll eat it even harder. when she comes out. She's not doing this for the right reasons. Because it's like 80s 90s Hollywood. So and so got caught with a bunch of cocaine and 15 hookers. He's in rehab. Then there's the, oh yeah, I'm clean and I shouldn't have done it to her, and then
Right.
until it
Yep.
happens again, until
Right.
you Robert Downey Jr. yourself in the actual prison and decide to unfuck yourself. So I mean, I hope that this lady, this 32-year-old adult, is making a right choice for the right reasons, and that's all. That was sad. That was real bad. It's the same thing with Rob Schneider's daughter. I can't remember her name, but when she went out and blew ass at Dolly Parton's birthday, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm too drunk." Cool, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I posted something the other day on the podcast story, and it was like, we're too old. Tell your friends being messed up all the time isn't cool anymore. Like, it's those conversations need to happen. Like,
I just think about, well, two things. First of all, I think about her team. Like, who around her allowed her to drink like that? One, two, before she goes out there, does she just sell it to the point where they don't question it? Like, there's no
yeah,
way she wasn't slurring her speech before she went out there.
yeah.
No way. Or at least her body language. They just put her out there by herself and then hung her out to dry. So that bugs me
Well,
from the outside looking in, because if
or was it
she's a, go ahead.
or was it one of those things where she's like, I need a couple drinks to calm my nerves before this, and then she had like all of the drinks.
Right, again, but who's not there? Whenever
Yeah.
I see celebrities who get caught up like drunk driving, how do you not have someone to drive you home?
Right.
You have all this money. Why don't you have a caretaker while you purposely inebriate yourself? Like, this is, so to me, in terms of liability, like, there's no system to try and save you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
does someone come and say, she's really drunk? She's really drunk. I don't think she should go on. And they're just like, she signed up for it. They just fucking push her out there and she goes out anyway.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me as someone who uses cannabis is if the tables were turned and it comes out that she was high and then she goes to rehab for cannabis addiction, I guess, which I'm
Yeah.
assuming is a thing for some people, but by and large, no one's ever died from cannabis, and it does not have the same uh, issues that you get from, or the same side effects as alcohol.
Yeah.
So like, but as we spoke about this before we went on, like, they would have wrung her through the coal and they would have demonized marijuana, cannabis in a
Mm-hmm.
heartbeat. But I didn't watch this telecast, but I would be hard pressed that if soon after, when they cut to commercial, it wasn't something for Budweiser or, for Coors.
Right.
Like, more than likely there was a liquor ad right after this happened and likely before it. So it's just,
Yep.
and the timing of it with Trump shooting and then everything else going on, it was like the perfect backdrop to the current status of this country. It is a sloppy, drunk mess
Yep.
on the world stage proclaiming its greatness. Like, it's such a weird shit show right now that the next 4 months are going to be real interesting.
I'm enjoying the fall of this empire because we got memes, baby, and people on the internet are way too quick. So
Way too quick, dog.
yeah,
But
that
like I said, I'm bummed. I'm bummed that I'm seeing all these car dealerships using these fail videos and then like putting their employees in these ridiculous circumstances to transition into them selling their product or
yeah.
their brand or whatever. I have not seen one with the assassination attempt. How? The video's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. How is no one using that as someone just bending down and then going, "How's your personal security?"
Right?
Like
Well,
that's got to happen. I'm
was
bummed
like,
it hasn't already.
do you have the clip?
I can get it.
Because also, you want to hear my ad
Yes, let's
for
hear it.
so, are you tired of your government-funded security force letting you get unintentional ear piercings? What about when the police let the person with a rifle they confronted still get into a shooting position? How about when you find out that multiple civilians warned your government funded security force and they still didn't take action? Well, here at Schmuckatelli Security, we pay attention to those details and make sure the rooftops are covered. Just like your back, we've got it. Call 555 555 5555 to talk about our services and competitive pricing.
Nailed it. Yeah, man. Just got to record you dropping it low for taking cover. Put a ketchup packet in your hand and recreate it.
What do you got going on tomorrow?
I almost reached out to the digital marketer in our group, and I was going to ask him like if some client came up to him with this idea, and they were like, "Will you?" and they pitch it to him, will you go through it? Will they take that job or will they decline? I'm just
Yeah.
curious. Like, if they're like, "Hell yeah, let's do it."
They say I have to think about it. Like, what is the?
Again, it's meme culture, right? So, regardless of your stance with the person involved, it's always about the behavior. It's always about relatability, right? It's I mean, because you could do it at any of these school shootings. You can do it at any of these club shootings. You can do the exact
Mhm.
same thing. And it would just be a comedian could do it and filter it under dark comedy, right? Like you're
Yeah.
taking a shitty situation and you're finding a seed to laugh about it instead of be fearful or to cry or whatever. So, like, that's my intention always when I'm thinking about this. And so when I see people go out of their way to capitalize on, the fist pump after an ear piercing, like it's you know, the amount of commerce that will be utilized over the next several months and probably years now because yeah. And of course, people who follow that platform were touting it as an incredible picture and an incredible moment, and it's like, if you say so.
I don't know if you pull yourself out of everything we know, that picture does kind of go hard.
So put it into the same perspective of
Mm.
someone with no clout simply failing and then standing up in triumph afterwards. Like, under what circumstance would you say that went hard? You wouldn't.
I'm, I don't know. Was it position just right? Was the American flag blowing above? Was there like
No, again, you're a WWE fan. None of that is
oh
by
dude
none of that's by
this
chance.
man this man took it quite advantage of a moment.
But he didn't do anything. All he did was
I
raise his
know.
fist. Like
I know.
he didn't
That's
go back up to the podium and keep going.
so
And then when there was they compared it to the video from like 2016 when there was just an alleged threat and they bum rushed his ass to protect him and then ran him off the stage. None of that happened.
right.
And the crowd also reacted in a way that was unsurprised. 2016, Secret Service flips a switch and goes into active mode, and the crowd starts running for their personal safety. Every single person in that video simply ducked. Huh? They felt confident with an active shooter And then the thing that they're going to take away from it is a 2-second pose from the victim who got the best out of all of the victims. There are people who have died. There is one of his own supporters who went hard in the paint for him, who Biden reached out to, their family, but Trump didn't. So it's like, how hard is that actual picture? Because people actually died, and that dude got astray. That dude got he got a baby gash. But that pick went hard?
I'm saying no context. It looks cool. That's it. I told you, I'd take yourself completely out of it, out of everything we know. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
No. That's not it. That's everything. You're saying take everything out in order
Yes.
to see this thing. And that is hilarious because we don't do that anywhere else.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Like, I'm in agreement with you 100%. I was just saying
I'm simply
completely
saying
disconnected.
that whatever the hardness is that people are trying to sell is like a dunk, right? It's a of a dunk. But again, there
Yeah.
was no action done. It is simply a pose, which is the definition of a virtue signal. No
Right.
action, but the picture. So for every time I see, and I've seen it a lot, people saying this picture goes hard, minus everything else.
Right. That's what
And
that's
that's such a
exactly what I
low
said.
that's right. That's such a low
Yeah.
bar. No one else gets
Yeah.
that. No one else gets
Right.
that bar lowered for them to such an extent to where they can be celebrated for nothing. For like literally nothing. And then you didn't even like first of all, the protection failed.
Hard. They failed hard.
So you want to talk about what went hard? The failure went way harder than that pose. So again, context, forgetting everything else. You have to forget everything else in order to get hard picture. That's why I'm articulating this in this fashion.
No,
Not
of
because I think
course.
that you're misled or whatever. You saw what everybody's posting online.
Yeah.
Same thing as what a Joe Rogan quote is. You remove all of the context and then you take the little snippet of Joe Rogan and he's a fucking genius. He's a curator of cool or whatever. And so, yeah, that's the standard for that movement, for that energy, is remove all of the context, just like the guy with the swastika flag. What can you tell me about this? Oh, people just bring shit in here. My guy, you got a swastika flag. That is the most inflammatory image on the planet. And you're going to tell me that you don't know shit about it at a place that is memorializing those things? Again, the bar gets lowered so far to celebrate a virtue signal.
Well, speaking of that whole incident, dude, did you see the video of the lady agent that couldn't figure out how her holster worked?
No. What?
Dude.
Wait, what?
Okay. One of the Secret Service agents at this rally, after everything went down, she has her service pistol drawn, and then she reaches back multiple times to try and put it back in and can't figure it out. So she just
No. This is post?
yeah. Like
Our good guys aren't bad. Our good guys are bad, and our bad guys aren't any good. It's.
I'm not. Listen. I'm not saying that women can't do what men do. I'm not. So don't.
No.
Whoever hears this, don't try and pin this on me. But there is a
remove
quality,
all context. Go ahead.
No. There is a quality of. There's a standard that's supposed to be met, and if you do not meet said standard, you should not be able to have said job. And when you see a Secret Service agent that can't holster their weapon,
again, we're talking about lowering bars, man.
Yeah, like ooh.
That's what happens when you get rid of DEI. You have no diversity in your workforce, so it's just that. It's the best you can get from that. How old was this woman,
Oh, I don't know.
if you had to guess?
She had to be in her middle late 30s.
Okay.
That's what she looks
So,
like.
so like Ingrid, she's had time.
Well,
She's had time to learn. Oh boy.
there's a well, because it's not, you don't just walk up and say, I'd like to be a Secret Service agent. And they say, go through the 2-week class and congratulations, here's your badge. Like there's multiple levels of selection that are supposed to happen. And after that, I think I'd be a pretty shit hot Secret Service agent, man.
Apparently, a lot of us will be, because that's pretty low on the totem pole in terms of stuff
Dude,
you need to be able to do.
put me on that Jimmy Carter detail, man. I got that one.
So did Reagan? He actually get shot, or was it a?
Reagan did get shot. So,
Was that a
let's see.
Republican too?
Yep.
What do you know?
But Reagan was the one that signed all the gun bans out in California because he didn't trust the Black Panthers to have weapons.
No, for
And
sure. And then a white guy
and
shot
then,
him.
yep.
Okay, just checking. And
And
then
he did it. And he did it for. Again, that story's hilarious. The guy who shot Reagan did it because he loved Jodie Foster and wanted to get her attention. That story's.
That's the story that made history.
Yeah.
Not any other option. Not his words, not his family's words, not, you know how social media works. They'll dress him up as a picture. So pre-social media, pre anything, that's what they said. That's crazy, man. So they dress that. So that's what they do. They'll dress him up as crazy, as the exception, instead of fast forward to Captain Law and Order getting shot by a registered Republican who's 20 years old. Call of Duty generation, man. And then what happens after this? Gun sales skyrocket.
Which reminds me, I need to go optics shopping.
Rinse and repeat. It's almost like it's a playbook. Almost like it's supposed to happen.
Oh, weird.
Oh.
But I do need to go optics shopping. Yeah, need to take my toy out to go play.
Oh, anything else tonight,
Might
sir?
go, man. No, I do know that I have to go drag a couple little girls into their bed. That's all I know.
I got to drag myself into bed because I just got a message from the missus. And they're just now getting on their plane. So
Nice.
fingers crossed. Do what?
Are they Ubering home, or are you gonna go get them?
I'm going to go get them.
Okay. Look at you. You good fella.
Tired babies, man. That's not gonna be fun for an Uber driver. I'm gonna put them through that.
It's not fun for a parent.
Yeah. So no. So when
Well,
Christ
Ryan,
Order strikes, I'll be there.
I've missed you.
I've missed you. I've missed this, man. I've missed.
Yeah, man.
Apologize for shit hitting the fan the way that it did, and
Well,
shout out to you for doing it on the solo tip.
of course, man. But don't apologize for anything. You were handling business and taking care of your family, and that's respectable as fuck.
Try. All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, we've got no war host, so you got to sign us off.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the Sober Swole podcast. Once again, my name is Jake Howard.
Did I send you that video of Ric Flair squatting?
Yes, you did. That
75,
was
405. Stupid. Too buff for
that
this.
was before. That was actually a couple years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Because yeah, he got brittle real quick. Anyway,
I go by DJ Swell.
Chocolate and vanilla swirl.
Shout out Dale. R.I.P.
Good night.
Peace out.
They say teamwork makes the dream work, but what about the nightmare? From your landlord to your dashboard, sometimes life don't play fair. If you lack time, got a bad spine, we're here to support you, giving peace of mind from the time you buy until we say goodbye. 602-345-0472 buy. 602-345-0472 buy.